All right. Feeney Talks with Friends, episode 125. We're here at Wehob Roasting and Brewing with some very, very cool guests today. How you doing, Chelsea?
Good, thanks.
How you doing, Greg?
I'm doing well. It's good to be here.
Great. This is 125. My name is Eric Feeney, founder and president of Friends of Feeney. Our mission is to help children and families that need assistance after heartbreak or tragedy, and I use this podcast, Feeney Talks with Friends, and I talk to wonderful people that are doing great things. And Greg and Chelsea, you're doing great things.
Oh, thank you.
Multiple things. And we're going to get into what's coming up in your upcoming events that have a wonderful outcome. So how you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited. Yeah, just a couple weeks away from our new beer tour coming up.
Yeah, he said it. Bear Tour, the Connecticut Bear Tour. This is the second one.
This is the second one. Last year I participated in the Visionaries of the Year campaign for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society and decided if I'm going to raise money for 10 weeks, why not have some fun doing it? So I came up with the idea of putting together a beer tour. And I thought maybe I'd get 5-10 breweries to opt in. Well, no, I had 23 that jumped in on the bandwagon, and so I went to 23 breweries over 10 weeks. Bless my wife, every Friday and Saturday night we were hanging out at a brewery, and some Wednesdays and Thursdays to get them all in to raise money for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Nice.
As a result of that, we raised a lot of money to make a real impact in the battle against blood cancers.
Yeah, got it down here, almost $120,000.
Correct. Yes. Yep.
Very cool. And Lymphoma and Leukemia Society, that's where Chelsea comes in?
Yep, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. I'm the market director here in Connecticut. We have 3 fundraising campaigns. Visionaries of the Year is the campaign that Greg was mentioning. So we've got a team of 5 of us here locally. Been here we're kind of a newer market, actually. We just stood up a board in the past couple of years, have a couple committees working, and a lot of good work. Grew 44% year over year.
Nice.
I'm a numbers nerd, but not as good as this numbers nerd.
So what is the Visionary of the Year? Now, is that something that, can you get that again this year? Or
No, so it's a one-shot deal.
Gotcha.
So every spring, the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society sponsors these campaigns across the country in local cities, and they nominate individuals to lead teams to do a fundraising campaign. And you have 10 weeks to raise as much money as you can, and the team that raises the most money is crowned the Visionary of the Year.
very nice.
And so I was one of 6 candidates last year, and we raised over $329,000 as a group to benefit the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society.
Well, congratulations. That's a job well done. Very good.
And
Thanks.
thank you.
My
I wasn't
pleasure.
kidding when we talk to people that do great things. So I'm so honored to talk with you, Greg and Chelsea. It's a great team. How did you guys meet? Where did this start?
That's funny. Shout out to Lindsay over here. That's how I met you, through Lindsay. For years, Lindsay had worked with you through your work with CCMC, and she worked with us for a while. She was a board member for a while. Lindsay David, her son's a survivor, Gavin, in the community, and just love that family. And she had her eye on Greg when we started Visionaries. So this spring will be our 4th Visionaries of the Year campaign, because again, like I mentioned, we're a little bit newer here. Just not new with LLS, but new here locally. And she was like, you've got to get Greg. Greg is your man. So he kept saying no, but not for the wrong reasons. He was saying no because it just wasn't the right exact moment. And I think he was plotting and planning to make the biggest impact. You could speak for yourself. But that's how I met Greg, is through Lindsay.
Yes, I've been doing a lot of fundraising and friend-raising for the Connecticut Children's Medical Center for many years, and got to know Lindsay David through that connection, and she introduced me to Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. Unfortunately for me, my dad passed away back in 2015 from multiple myeloma, so it's always been a cause that's dear to my heart to make an impact for other families not to have to deal with the same type of diagnosis, and hopefully at some point have a cancer-free future.
I know I saw Ken, right? Ken was your dad.
That's correct.
And he was a mayor?
He was all sorts of things. He definitely is my role model. Talk about making an impact. I like to say that I learned to play golf at the age of 8, and by my teenage years, I played with the mayor of my town, the town councilman, the president of the Rotaries Club, the treasurer of my church, or the vice president of a metal manufacturing company. But all of them were my dad. And grew up helping him have a political campaign as well as just making an impact in the community. And so, although we never really had a conversation about it, I just learned from his example that I wanted to give back to the community. And so I've tried to follow in his footsteps.
That's amazing. Well, I'm sure he's proud of you, so keep up the good work. Where was he a mayor?
In Celeron, New York,
Okay.
which you talk about trivia, is the birthplace of Lucille Ball.
Nice.
So if you watch that episode, they'll talk about Celeron, New York, outside of Jamestown, New York. And there's actually the International Comedy Hall of Fame in Jamestown, New York.
Interesting. See, fun fact, learned something new.
Yes,
Yeah, I
indeed.
didn't know that.
And you are a wealth advisor, right?
I am, or I like to refer to myself as a financial coach, because a lot of times it's not necessarily getting advice, but having somebody coach you to get through the tough times of the financial markets, as well as coach you up into leading a life of higher potential than you think you might be able to achieve.
And you had a podcast, so you're on our podcast, but you also have a Your Money, Your Purpose podcast. Tell us about that.
Sure. So over the years, we've had 2 radio shows. Our latest was Your Money, Your Purpose, and we did that for 3 years and had a half-hour radio show that then converted into a podcast as well.
Wow.
So trying to get some good financial information out to everybody.
Yeah, you offer podcasts, you offer classes. You're big into education. I'm a 3rd grade teacher, so teaching people's what I do, and that's what you seem to be doing too, but for financial literacy.
Correct. We believe our best client is a well-educated client, and so we spend a lot of time and effort on education, not only through monthly education workshops that we call our Financial Power Hour, but also I release every Friday a 60-second YouTube short on a financial tip for the week that goes out through YouTube and our social media channels.
Nice. How do the views on your 60-minute weekly thing? What's your average view, if you don't mind me asking, just from a podcast perspective and social media?
Our views right now, they've been creeping up as we get more subscribers. It's always interesting. A topic that I think that is going to rocket doesn't do so well.
Yep.
And then those that I'm thinking, I don't know if this is going to go anywhere, it all of a sudden takes off.
Yep.
So on average, probably a couple 100 to 500 views.
Nice. I've noticed that too with our social media piece, with podcasts or a reel or a video, just me talking, informal, shoot from the hip talk, it does very well. But if you plan and prep and do all this stuff, you never know. You never know. So I was just interested. But videos are the way to go. We're not doing too many still shot photos with a lot of words anymore. Like kids want the reels and the videos in 60 seconds because of attention span. I'm guessing that's why you do it that way?
That's exactly it. So one of the primary focuses of our financial advisory firm is working with families across multiple generations. So our goal is to work with families across 3 generations. So we're working with the grandparents and the kids and the grandkids. Our youngest client is 10 years old, and we go all the way up to over 100. So we cover the wide spectrum. But yes, as we try to reach those younger generations, they're not going to watch a 45-minute workshop. So I wanted a way for them to get some good information in short nuggets that they'd be able to absorb.
Very interesting. All right, we're going to come back to you with the 3 keys that make your job. What's very good for you? 3 keys that will, help you do your job. So think about that, and then we're going to go to Chelsea. Chelsea is our campaign development director. How is that going? So you've been doing it for 4 years.
I've been with LLS for 7 years.
Oh, 7 years.
But I actually was in Ohio before and moved here, so lucky to
And
be
you're
here.
the Connecticut and Eastern New York, Albany area.
We're in the Connecticut, Albany, Eastern New York area, and I run the market of Connecticut.
Nice. And what's your daily job look like for marketing for
marketing?
LLS? Yes.
You know, it's interesting. I feel like I had this kind of feels like that coffee chat we had when I was like, my job is shifted. I just had this conversation with him and was like, I need some help. It has shifted. So it is a lot more on my plate around marketing and getting the word out. And it used to be very much like, this is our fundraising campaign. We're going to raise these dollars. Let's talk to the people that we know. And now shifting into like a geography versus like a campaign revenue stream. My job is a lot more about working with our volunteers and who they know. So I'm sitting down at a lot of coffees. I'm sitting down at a lot of lunches. I'm sitting down for a beer with a lot of people right now, just getting to know people, getting to know what makes them tick, getting to know their stories. Do they have a cancer connection? Do they have time in their schedule or interest to commit to something philanthropically? Totally different than what I've been doing for years, you know? So it's been a real shift, but I'm loving it.
And what was that prior to the?
It was really just, you know, I still have the revenue, right? Like that's going to be the focus because we know that dollars are what's going to cure this long term, but and just help people along the way. But just more focus now broadly for LLS, bringing people into the LS family, introducing them to what we're doing here, and then finding the right home instead of, hey, this is what we have to do right now, and kind of fitting people in.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And I saw that you're a Georgia Bulldog.
Huge. How did you know that? But yes.
See, I do my research.
Good research. Huge. Yes. And it's been a really rough year in our household because my husband's a Penn State fan.
Ooh.
So like we lost and then they lost and we were like, all right, fine. So we were pulling for Ohio State last night because we moved here from Ohio and we feel a little bit okay.
Okay. In
case anyone's wondering or cares, we're big college football fans.
Nice. I'm going to swing it back to you for your 3 keys.
Oh boy.
Right after Greg. 3 keys. Well, let me go into some sponsors of the Feeney Talks with Friends podcast. We're here at Weha Roasting and Brewing, 311 Shield Street. Thank you, Cody. Great place. Also on the beer tour list. That's why we're here. What day are we coming here for the beer tour? Do you know?
It's Valentine's Day, February 14th. So come show some love for LOS by making a stop by Weha Brewing.
Bring your sweetheart to Shield Street. This is great. Cody, he's on a podcast. I forgot the number. I usually have them all off top hand, but he was early, top 20, top 30 podcast. Go back and check it out. I want to also thank Direct Line Media. There's Dave and Stefania. Stefania's great. She's our production associate, but she was also a podcast guest. Last podcast, 123. So this is 125. Go back and check Stefania out. We have People's Bank, Keating Agency Insurance, Brook Golf Law, Luna Pizza, Parkville Management, Luna Pizza, I said that one, and West Hartford Lock, which is right over here, right around the corner, West Hartford Lock. What are 3 keys? See what I got to swing that in. I had to swing that in. 3 keys that make you great at your job. Sponsored by West Hartford Lock.
3 keys that make me great at my job is take the time to listen.
Okay.
That we want to make sure that whatever we accomplish, it's what you want to. It's not just giving blank advice. Second is the education component of it. Wholeheartedly believe in education. And then the third is we really care about families. So similar to Friends of Feeney, we care about children and getting them started early on the path to financial freedom.
Great. Listen, education, children. I love it. It's all about the kids.
Absolutely.
3 keys, Chelsea.
All right. Oh
Chelsea
my.
Dropik, too, by the
yes,
way.
Thank you.
No, actually, it's Dropik. But it's quick as a... We have a future
joke.
wrestling podcast coming up, too. I'm going to have some
Absolutely.
guys, we're going to talk wrestling. So
We're here for
Dropkick,
it.
good
We're here for
segue
it.
in. But it's Dropik. So go
Yes.
ahead, Chelsea.
No, you're good. He stole my first one, which I think is for most jobs, right?
Right.
And that's listening, right? So I think listening definitely is the most useful. Second, I would say remembering your why and everyone's why, right? Like it is a job for me, but it is like a horrible reality cancer is for so many people and so destructive on families and just goes really, really deep. So if I remember my why, it's so much more than a job for me. So I think remembering my why and everybody else's why while we're doing that. And then empathy. I'm definitely, have a team that I manage now. So I would say empathy for my volunteers, but also our team, right? Like we're all human. We're doing our best. Like no one wants to fail. So like just empathy, like while we're dealing with everybody, knowing we're all doing our best.
Listening, yeah, I hear that one a lot. Listening. empathy. Well, not empathy all the time, but listening, networking, being personable. But no, you got a tough position, but you're doing a good thing for a good cause. So keep doing what you're doing. Also, let's talk about a common friend that we all have that brought you here, Laura Moran. Do you guys know Laura?
Oh,
We
yes,
definitely
absolutely.
know Laura.
So what's Laura's position? She has a position now with you.
So she doesn't anymore
Oh.
by her own choice. Let me make that super
Before the
duper
email
clear.
or after the email?
Oh, right. No, she
'Cause it-
I think hooked us up in the very beginning.
Yep.
And then she was really excited she was actually a temp for us. She was helping us out while
Gotcha.
we had a guy out on a paternity leave, and she was tremendous, and we would have kept her on, but she had something that came up that was a perfect
Oh, nice.
place for her to go next. So we're excited for her.
No, she's an amazing person.
She is.
Johnny's Jog, if you don't know, Laura Moran. Episode 42, I know for a fact she's episode 42, right here, same seats. Laura and Kelly, great podcast. Go back and check out episode 42. I don't know who wants to take this question, but our motto, be a good friend. You know, hold the door, pick up trash, be charitable, give compliments. What makes Laura Moran a good friend?
She is, I mean, I don't know if you have one, but she's definitely a good friend. She's such a sweet, sweet person. I think that kind of with that empathy thing, like, she wants to succeed, not for herself, but for, the greater good. And she wants to be a part of making great things happen. And she's doing that with Johnny's Jog. Like, it's incredible. And I know she's doing that in her new role, and she definitely did that with us. So, I mean, maybe not like opening the door, although she would open the door. I don't know if I would take it back to that, because I don't know if I know her on that level, but just a great human being that really wants to be a part of the solution for good, whatever that is that she's pouring herself
I
into.
agree.
Well, and I would point that she's always looking to make introductions and connections for people. So through her position at Johnny's Jog, as well as just her actions and activities in the community, she has a lot of friends and individuals, so she's making connections and introducing people to make a wider impact.
She's always suggesting podcast guests, and I'm so happy that she suggested you guys. So we're here today, 125, going to talk about the Connecticut Beer Tour. So thank you, Laura. You are a good friend. Chelsea and Greg said so too, so it's confirmed. So Hammond Wealth, and also your author podcast. What does this guy not do?
I have not yet
Can
figured
you
that
sing?
out.
Can you sing?
I can sing. I did.
You play a
sing.
musical instrument?
I did back in high school and college.
We will find something.
Can you dunk?
No, I cannot
Okay.
dunk.
Oof.
Done.
I
Okay.
cannot dunk.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
You got me there.
Author, you can do more that matters. If you knew you could, what wouldn't you? This is amazing. So this is a gift from Greg to me today before the podcast. You should have gave it to me. You should have waited. Make the big
Make the big
reveal.
percentage.
I got you something. But no, this is amazing. I'm going to read this, and I say, hey, there's another thing, Greg. I'm like, hey, it would be really cool if you signed it. I already had it signed. Take time to think, dream, and plan to do more that matters. Best with wishes, Greg. I really appreciate that. Discover how to live more and give more. What inspired you to write this?
So I've done a lot of presentations on behalf of nonprofit organizations. So not only do I work on educating development professionals, as well as making organizations more effective in their planned giving, but also making presentations on their behalf. So through that, I decided I can only do so many presentations. So why not take that presentation and put it in the form of a book that then can be used. And it was written in a way that can not only be read by the end user and hopefully someone to use it to motivate their own making a difference, but also for professionals like myself to utilize it to start the philanthropy conversation, as well as nonprofit organizations to do the same.
Okay. Well, I have a nonprofit, so I'm going to find this
And if
very
anybody,
useful.
they love podcasts, you'll love that there's also the audiobook recorded, and you'll find that on audible.com.
Who's the voice?
That's me.
Come on,
Me
you
and
did
my
that too?
co-author. Yes, indeed.
This guy's...
It's ridiculous.
When I grow up, I want to be like Greg.
Right, don't we all?
This is great. All right, we're excited. Let's go. We got the beer tour. Where's our first stop on the beer tour, Greg?
Our first stop is Rule of Three Brewing down in East Hampton, and they were our biggest fundraiser last year for our 2024, so we're very grateful and excited to have them back.
Do you know the three rules?
The three rules. Well, I know they have a beer for each of the three rules, but I don't know the three rules off the top of my head.
A list of rules of 3 beers? Uh-oh, maybe I'm messing up. But I see that I could be wrong now. These few simple rules. Simplicity is king. Fun is a must. And no hoity-toity plays here. I like that. I like these guys.
Yep.
Do you know Scott Cross or John?
I know both of them. A lot of fun guys. We were actually just there last Thursday for my firm does a quarterly happy hour for our clients and friends, and we were at Rule of 3 Brewing.
Rule of 3. All right.
Yep.
So that's East Hampton, Scott and John. They got 3 rules. Can you name a couple beers? What's your favorite beer there?
Well, the one that I had was Heckle's Revenge, which was a marshmallow chocolate stout that I had last week, and it was delicious.
Wow. Like the Dr. Heckle and Clyde, or Heckle's Revenge?
Heckle's Revenge, yep.
What's the date of that? Oh. Yeah, what's the date of the
It's going to be
Rule
February
of 3?
1st that they'll be there, kicking us off.
Kicking us off.
If you're doing dry January, here's the time to take a break and come back and join us for a craft beer at Rule of 3.
Rule of 3. All right, kicks off in East Hampton. All right, how about, now we're going to do trivia. Now
boy.
Which brewery's name means hop farm or hop yard in Italian?
That's Luppoleto in
Very
East
good.
Windsor, yes.
Good job.
Luppoleto, he passed. We might be going out of order, but actually, no, that's next. Oh, nope.
Nope.
Luppoleto. There is one before
They're
that.
third. Before we go to Luppoleto, we're going to take a stop at Back East Brewing in
East.
Bloomfield.
Yep. What's your favorite beer at Back East? See if we agree.
Well, there's a lot of good beers at Back East, but Ice Cream Man is fantastic, and I love the J&J Special where they put a little bit of the blackberry Berliner Weiss on top as a topper on the Ice Cream Man.
Wow.
Oh, wait, I need that.
Time out.
Yeah, so
This
that's
is an exclusive, everyone. How do we do this? What do we do again?
it's on their list. You don't even have to go in and give them a super handshake or anything like that. It's I believe it's the J&J Special.
This blackberry Berliner Weiss, 3.5.
Correct.
And you just pour how much on top?
So they basically give you a full pint of the Ice Cream Man, and then they put a little topper of the blackberry on top.
All right. I gotta go.
You gotta go.
February 7th,
Clearly.
everyone. And what's it called?
The J&J Special.
What's that stand for? Who's
I believe
J&J?
it's 2 of the employees at Back East.
Well done, Back East. Yeah, Ice Cream Man. This says right here that top 5 on the Drafts magazine list. Top 50 IPAs. I know they sell it at the Yard Goats game. So Back East, keep up good work with the Ice Cream Man.
And they just added a new kitchen last year, so delicious food there as well.
And that's going to be Friday, February 7th.
Correct.
We're going to clip these up. We're going to make reels. Back East.
Back East?
J&J Special. Luppoleto. Did I say that correctly?
Yes. Jen and James are the owners. They do great job brewing beer there and are very fervent supporters of blood cancer research.
And that's going to be Saturday. So you're back to back. You're Friday at Back East, Saturday at Luppoleto. Wife loves you.
Correct. Yep, we'll be there all afternoon. At Luppoleto, they have a great game inventory. So if you're a big board game fan, they do a great job. You can hang out there, have a few beers, play a board game or two. And they also uniquely play bocce in their tap
Nice.
room. So if you're interested in indoor bocce, you can get their bocce league.
So they're really Italian. Bocce. I wrote that down. Bocce.
That's awesome.
Man, you took away my trivia question. What brewery allows bocce? All right, where are we off to next?
So after Luppoleto, we're going to Illicit on a Monday night, the following Monday. So we'll be there. And also a shout out to Illicit Brewing because not only are they doing this one night fundraising for us, but also they will be doing rounding up through the entire month of February to benefit the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society in both their Manchester and Fairfield locations.
Man, you got me again. Look at that. Round up through February with a star.
That is too funny.
Monday the 10th.
They've been really generous.
Who are
to
the
us.
breweries? Who are the owners
yeah.
and breweries work there?
You got me there. So
I found it very interesting. Emily and Amanda, 2 females. True or false? That was on the website. I could be wrong. But no, round up through February. I think that's amazing. Cool names: Helicopter Dad, Carousel Incident, Coconut Incident, Marriage Counseling. I mean, Friends with Benefits, Mandatory Hibernation, Maple Me Crazy. I like the extra points for the creative names, right? Creative names go a long way, in my eyes anyway. But yeah, that's great. February 10th on a Monday.
On a Monday, yeah. They have a jazz orchestra that'll be there on that Monday night, and you come in, make a $10 donation.
You're reading my notes.
And it'll get you drink specials all night long. So.
I was going to say, hey, is there a conflict? Because I noticed the website also had Hartford Jazz Orchestra, but it's meant to be.
Meant to be.
Greg.
That's why I chose that date, too.
It's amazing.
They get a nice group of people there.
Not a conflict. It's meant to be, people. Be there, February 10th. Which one are you going to attend, Chelsea?
So I was just put them all on my calendar last night, actually, in case you're wondering. So my entire calendar has blocks everywhere, which means I might make it to a couple. Got 2 small children, but whenever I'm ready to escape them, I'm hoping to do, well, I'll be at New Park Brewing on the 27th.
Okay.
But also, I think I'm going to try to do Problem Solved on the 22nd. But hopefully I could do more. But I'm committing. I made it here last year to Weehawken whenever
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
We're going out of order just to trick you up here.
Uh-oh. Yeah,
This
don't let him see.
brewery has a setback league. They're having bonsai bar. They do brews and book swap. They are the first brewery ever in Enfield, Connecticut. They started in 2014. They are?
Well, Enfield would be Powder Hollow.
Correct. This guy's good.
Yeah, we don't have an official date for them
And
yet, but
TBD.
they have committed, and so it's to be decided. So you got to tune in and go to the website at ctbeertour.org to stay in touch.
I also have a phone number, and you have an email. Can we share that?
Well, yes.
It's
so
on the website.
ctbeertour@gmail.com. And if you go to the website, there is a way to sign up for our email list, and so you'll get updates from me on the upcoming dates and any changes as we add new breweries.
This is great. Now, so you'll be at every one.
Not everyone.
Okay.
I will be out of town for one weekend, so Chelsea's colleague
taking
Josh
over.
is going to fill in for me.
Now, do you call everyone's attention to give a little 30-second talk, or do you at the event do you say, hey, thank you so much for coming, CT Beer Tours, all your donations are going to LLS, right? You do all that?
Correct. We'll have a table set up so people can come in. We'll make it as easy as possible to learn more about the mission of LLS and the impact that they have in the community and supporting families as well as research. And then also we're there to collect donations directly, and that can be cash, Venmo, credit card, as well as most of the breweries are donating either $1 per beer or 10% of the sales that night. So just by showing up and having a beverage, you get us one step closer to a cancer-free future.
I love it. I'll be there. All right, next one. Let's see, I'm going to trick you here. All right. This one hosted my dad's 70th birthday party.
Ooh.
Do you know, Greg?
I don't know that one. I wasn't invited.
It's happening on Valentine's Day. We also have this Friday, the Big Sing. Do you know Walter? Walter, shoot, what's his name? My best guy in the world. Walter. Walter's going to kill me. It's not Walter McCarty. He played for the Celtics. Walter, sorry. I got to look now. Oh boy, embarrassing. Anyway, live music will be here. Big Sing through Mark's Christmas Trees. And we're asking a donation. The Big Sing is where everyone gets a sheet of lyrics, and Walter will be singing, and we'll shout, what song do you want to play? We'll sing number 1. It's New York, New York. Everyone has the list. We sing along, and we collect donations, and it's a great event. It started in Halifax, Canada. Mark's Christmas Trees. I don't know if you get your Christmas trees over here.
Oh, yes.
That's Mark. The Christmas trees are from Halifax. Mark's from Halifax. And that we sing. It's called the Big Sing. And this is our 4th or 5th event this Friday. This won't come out in time, but we'll be singing with Walter. Walter. I feel terrible. I'm having a moment.
It's a carousel. It'll come around.
Walter Jacobson. But Cody's great. Grace, I know Grace. She's the events manager. And then, but yeah, we're here now. So come back. If you can't come this Friday, come on Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day. Show the love.
Yep. Will you be here for that
I
one?
will be here.
Will you be here for this one?
I probably
Depending.
will. I mean, I'll bring the kids.
Where do you guys live?
West Hartford.
Right here in West Hartford.
Okay. All
And a
right.
special guest, my sister's flying in from Ohio that weekend, so she'll be here too. So you get to meet her.
Same
Your
with my
family's from
mother-in-law.
Ohio. Sister's from Ohio. All right. This one. I like this spot too. Friends of Feeney have done a couple events there. We've done a fundraiser for a kid who was born with I think he had a tumor in his brain, and they helped. They got it removed, so we helped the family. Levi, we had a Levi fundraiser there. We did a comedy show there. They do live music in the green room and the barrel room.
Ah, yes.
The owners are John, Alex, and Tom. Where are we?
You're at New Park Brewing.
New Park
and,
Brewing.
Again, Laura Moran was kind of the connection there that got us to have the event at New Park Brewing.
Nice. Great people, great place. Where are you, in the barrel room or the green room?
So it's going to be a both.
Oh, nice.
Well, it's in the private room. That night actually marks a special occasion. So the 2025 Visionaries of the Year campaign kicks off that night. So we'll be there as part of the campaign to kick off the new candidates that will be raising money this year for the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, as well as a beer stop. So it'll also be part of the beer tour. So a portion of the proceeds by being in the tap room will also benefit LOS. So
Nice.
It's going to be one big party. So everybody
Great.
needs to be there.
Great spot. And they have an Elmwood cider named after Elmwood, the section. I live in Elmwood. Cloudscape is my favorite there. Do you have a favorite?
I would agree. Cloudscape is really good.
Yeah, Cloudscape's great. And Cloudscape is 6.5. It's an IPA, fluffy wheat finish, notes of grapefruit and melon. I'm reading from the list here. It's great. But yeah, New Park Brewery, great spot, great people. All right, how many? We got 4 left. Let's see. Do you know? Oh, right here. This place has a First Mates Club. 100 members get a designated mug, discounts, larger pours, swag. They have Storm the Beach, Shore, Unshore, Man Mosa, Boatload. It's a very nautical themed brewery.
That's Coastline Brewing down in Westbrook.
Westbrook, very good.
Great place. They have a pizza oven there. Great pizza. Great group of guys that own it. And although they're not hosting an event during February, they made the call. They said, hey, February's a little dead here on the shoreline. Why don't we wait until the summertime when it's really rocking? So we're going back. We're extending the tour, and we'll be going back to Coastline sometime this summer.
Very nice. And that's Rich, Phil, and Jay. I've never been. I'm interested to go. Westbrook. Very cool. Then we have one in Bristol. What's the brewery in Bristol?
That's the new Cambridge project. Unique brewery because it's actually 3 breweries in one. So the Cambridge project is in the tap room that used to be Firefly Hollow in Bristol, and they acquired the recipes, so they still brew Firefly Hollow beers, and they also brew beers by Boondoggle, which is another brewery in as well as their own. I have yet to be there as new Cambridge project, so I'm excited to get there and try them all out.
Yeah, it says right here. It's on 139 Center Street. It was the walls of the iconic Firefly, Bristol's. And that's February 21st.
Correct.
Friday. It's a Friday.
And you need to put on your calendar, they have one of the best pumpkin beers
Ooh, okay.
that I have. Their pumpkin spice creamer from Firefly Hollow is one of my favorites.
Do they put cinnamon on the rim of the glass?
If you go to the tap room, yes, they do.
That's my wife's favorite. All right. We have
Yep.
to bring the wife for that one. So this one has infinite rotations, brittle, roasted root, ground fault, 6 sides. It's happening on February 22nd. It's a Saturday. It's in East Windsor.
That would be Problem Solved Brewing.
Boom, you got it. You're pretty good at
And
this.
yeah, that's a connection through Laura Ray Anderson, who is on our leadership team and helping to one of the co-leaders of the Visionary of the Year campaign, and she's leading up that and knows the owners quite well. So we're looking forward to being there.
Very nice. Which ones were on the list last year, and which ones are new this year?
So Rule of 3, Back East, Luppoleto, Illicit, Weehaw Brewing, Concentric, and Coastline are all returnees from last year. And then we're getting to visit the New Cambridge Project, Problem Solved Brewing, and Powder Hollow new this year, as well as New Park.
Very cool.
So a combination of new and old favorites.
This one looks like they have Darth Malt, Wookiee Cookie, that's Star Wars, Monster Mash, Double Stuff, Fins Up, that's Dolphins fans maybe, Concentric,
Brewing, yeah, in Portland, just after you go over the Aragoni Bridge from Middletown, you just swing around to the right and it's down on your right. Yeah, one of the reasons why their lineup right now looks a little dark in beer is that they do a fantastic event in December on the winter solstice. So on the darkest night, they do all dark beers. So they bring in not only their own, but some guest brews from breweries around Connecticut. So it's a great event. They do another one on light beers in June as well.
That's funny.
very nice. That's Brian, Drew, and Dave.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I forgot one of these guys was a retired cop. I forgot which one that was. I had a note, but no, very cool. So, all right, last year's tour. What was the first brewery, the last brewery, the best brewery, and the worst brewery?
Ooh.
Tough. I mean, least
Wow.
favorite, something went wrong or missing. I don't know. We'll modify it, of course.
Trying to think of who kicked it off last year. I know the end one was Urban Lodge in Manchester, and it's hard to say best.
Did Illicit
there's
go first?
a
I think so. Wasn't
yes,
it?
Illicit.
Yeah.
Yes, Illicit went
I'm here
first.
for
You're correct,
something.
because we had the kickoff party
Yeah.
at Illicit, and then we came back the next
Yeah.
night for the first
Yeah.
kickoff. Excellent memory. So yes,
Thanks.
we were at
Nice.
Illicit for the kickoff, and Urban Lodge as the wrap up. Best breweries. Well, I certainly shout out to Rule of 3 for being a top fundraiser. Back East and Willimantic were both right there at the top as well for fundraising. I'm also a big fan of Alvarium and their beer. So we had, by including 23 breweries, we pretty much covered most of the state.
Yeah.
So I put some mileage on my car.
That was the
traveling
reason that
around.
it's 11 this year and 23 last year.
Well, last year I was part of the Visionary of the Year campaign. So this year I've just been asked to be part of the leadership team.
Gotcha.
And so one of the things that happens throughout the campaign that makes it a lot of fun as part of the fundraising, there are different challenges. For example, raise a donation from all 50 states. So you got a challenge, and there are kind of award dollars that you could win for your campaign if you're
Nice.
the first team to get there. But it's on the shoulders of the leadership team to help raise some money to fund those challenges. And so as we were talking about that, and I could explain to my wife that I didn't have to be at all of the breweries, we started up to decide to have another one. So we're going to have it during the month of February to kind of get everybody energized, leading up to the candidates starting off their campaign at the end of February.
Very cool. Man, this is great. Again, excited to hear drinking with a cause, right? What's better than that?
Correct. And I want to do a shout out just to thank Rachel Diamond, who is at Broken Symmetry out in Bethel, but she is the director of the Connecticut Brewers Guild, and she was extremely supportive in getting my beer tour launched last year, as well as I had a table at the Connecticut Beer Fest, which is every April at the Convention Center. So
Nice.
one of the reasons why I know a lot about these breweries is I'm also an associate member of the Connecticut Brewers Guild. So I get to go to their meetings every quarter and get to have an opportunity to meet the brewers and learn a little bit more about each brewery.
Very cool. You're in it. That's great. Now, this is going to be a question for both of you. We'll let you go, Chelsea, first. Favorite restaurant
In West Hartford? Or
anywhere in the
no,
world.
this is not
Favorite
good.
restaurant, and then there's a
Oh,
follow-up
no.
question.
I don't like that is like the hardest. I take food extremely seriously
It's
to
a
the
tough
point
question.
where like I cannot do that. Like I'll be honest with you.
You
That
can
is
name like
just too
3.
hard.
Name like 4.
Oh, come on, you're ridiculous. Oh man. Okay, so I really enjoyed there's this I think I told you about this. I repeat myself often. Anyways, but there's this little restaurant in Cornwall. Is that where the little bridge is in Litchfield? Does
Okay,
that
yeah.
sound right? Okay. Called RSVP, and you have to call and leave a message and hope that they call you back, which they'll call you back, and Charles will call you. And if he does, then he kind of tells you sort of the date that you could come, / you tell him sort of the date you could come, and you hopefully agree on something. And it's like a very tiny dinner party, and I went with my husband, and it was so great. It's French food. It's two men that run it, and that's it. That's the whole thing. But
Oh, wow.
it's this amazing French dinner. You bring your own wine. It was so fun. So
RSVP.
Yeah.
I do that. I try all these.
yeah, do
Never
it.
heard this one.
It's a good one. You definitely cannot like plan the date. They really, the date plans you. But it's good. It's an experience.
What's the average plate, and how much did it cost?
Oh, so that's the thing. It's a one price thing. They tell you the price, and then you have to pay in cash, and you just leave it on the way out. Like I didn't know what to do, but there's just like a table, and you just set it there, and you walk away. And I forget what the price is now. It's probably you'll have to call Charles. I don't know what to tell you. It's not advertised. There's no website. You can't.
You have the number?
So if you just Google RSVP Connecticut restaurant or Cornwall or something like that, he'll probably be mad at me for putting this on a podcast.
Yes,
Like,
I'm
I mean, sorry.
You get all these
out.
calls now.
The New York Times is going to be so upset that I got here first.
I'll
Anyways,
make sure to make my reservation before the
yes,
podcast
yeah,
goes live.
I know.
definitely.
Call now. That's great.
Hysterical. Yeah.
Yeah, I've tried so many different restaurants based on this question. So
All right.
thank you.
Yeah.
All right, and now you're eating at
Oh, no.
RSVP
Yeah.
for dinner guests, dead or alive. Who are you
Ooh.
eating with?
Oh, okay. Dolly Parton, definitely. All-time favorite human. She's just so cool. Jesus, like I don't mean that in like a not cool way, or a cool way. I just think it'd be really interesting.
Popular response.
Yep, I would assume. Okay, four. Let's see. I mean, I'd probably bring my husband because he's pretty great.
Good
so,
answer.
all right.
A lot of people bring the
Add
significant
that one
others.
in there. All right, so that was 3. And then the 4th, I mean, oh, goodness gracious me. It's got to be like a world leader, but that's like a lot to unpack. I mean, I'll go with Jimmy Carter because he just passed. He's from Georgia. I did meet him at church in Plains because I'm from Georgia originally. I coughed on him. I felt really bad. He came to check on me. I was like a kid, and I was like, oh no. He was already old then. I was very concerned for his health. He survived, obviously. But that's my presidential story. But I would bring him because I didn't really get to chat with him.
Did you apologize for coughing on him?
I did.
Okay.
I would apologize for it if I
Yeah,
could talk
and
to him
during your
again.
dinner, yeah.
No, I
Maybe
definitely
know
would do
he's
that.
gonna be there and
that
come with a
guilt
handwritten
has
note.
gone with me forever.
Coughed on him. Man.
I felt
poor
terrible.
guy.
It was a terrible coughing fit.
4 dinner guests. All right, RSVP with Jesus, Dolly Parton, Jimmy Carter, and the hubby.
Yeah,
Greg.
That would be an interesting.
Yeah.
sure
foursome.
would.
Do you have a favorite restaurant, Greg?
Well, one of my favorites is Jay Gilbert's in Glastonbury. Just the quality of the food and service, always top notch. So go back there frequently.
Agreed. We go there for special occasions. Mm-hmm. Now, your 4 dinner guests.
My 4 dinner guests. I'd probably have my dad back
Aw, I love that.
for dinner. And I guess have to have my mom, who's still with us.
Aw.
So, but then we got to spice up the conversation a little bit. I love your guess of Jimmy Carter. Dolly Parton does a lot. Trying to think of a philanthropist that I would probably maybe Bill Gates
Oh yeah.
would be a great conversation. Also, I admire him for how he kind of dedicates time every year to reading books and staying on top of things. So, yeah,
Cool.
be an interesting conversation.
So mom, dad, Bill Gates, and do we have a fourth?
Oh, I don't count as the fourth, so I'm going to come up with...
Karen.
Well, yeah, it's probably my wife, but I didn't want to use them all up for family. But, yeah, maybe Warren Buffett as well.
Oh, that's a good
Nice.
one.
Money guys.
Money guys as well as philanthropy, yeah. Although, yeah, he's really kind of followed Bill Gates' lead on that, but definitely has his heart in the right place.
It's great, great. It sounds like a wonderful dinner. Now, how about a special moment with a friend? Our podcast is Feeney Talks with Friends. Do you have a special moment with a friend you like to share?
Special moment with a friend. Well, you know, I'll tell you one of the favorite days that I have each year is I have a client through planning that we did for him after his wife passed away from lung cancer, that he makes a gift every year to thoracic cancer research down in New Haven. And so at Smilo, we go down once a year to make that donation check. So I drive him down and walk him in and make that donation to the doctor that does the primary research in that thoracic cancer. And that to me is a day I always look forward to.
That's really sweet.
That's awesome. Wow.
That is a loaded question too, because I have a lot of friends. Like, which one are you going to highlight?
Ooh, yeah, true.
This is really
Your
hard.
BFF.
Oh, but I got like
It's like your
multiples.
favorite kid. It's your next question. What's your favorite
no,
kid?
Do not do that to me. No. Oh, I don't know whether or not to go like dark or like happy, right? They're both good though. I think I'm gonna go dark on this one. You kind of went a little dark too. So I think we both kind of like think about really meaningful interactions. And this is maybe not the happiest interaction, but it was really special. One of my very, very best friends, she was my college roommate. She is a Bosnian immigrant that came over with the help from the Presbyterian Church to South Carolina as a war refugee from Germany. She escaped Bosnia with her family. All of the men in her family were murdered during that war, including her father. And we were both studying abroad in college at the same time. She was in Germany and I was in Spain, and we met up and they found her father's body or the remains of his body, and returned his belongings to her. And we flew back to the US and sat in our dorm room and just like sat there with his belongings. And these are like, we're like 20, 21, like I think we were 20. It was so deep, and so I remember crying, but also being happy, and like all of the emotions. And I'm just, a kid from Georgia. Like, I've had this really great life, and just to know someone that has had this depth of experience, that has always affected me. And she's like such a important part of my kids' lives now, because she lives in New York and I live here in Connecticut, and we've just entwined her experience with our family, and I think it's really special. So deep and dark, but like really, really cool to be able
Very
to do
nice.
that with her.
That's great.
Yeah.
2 great experiences. That's awesome. And based on our last podcast, Stefania is into Marvel and superheroes. So, do you have a favorite superhero or
gosh.
superpower?
Superpower.
Shout out to episode 123.
Wow, having 2 daughters, I never really saw a lot of superhero
Aren't you lucky?
movies. But say yes to the dress or anything like that. HGTV, I'm right on it. But wow.
I'm with you. I have 2 daughters.
So yeah, that's a hard one on superpower. You have one in mind?
I mean, I have 2 boys, one of which has very strong opinions on superheroes. I mean, I really do not, I'm not into that at all. Like, I feel like I've got to figure it out. I mean, guys, This is hard, really hard for me. I mean, maybe Spider-Man, but I feel like he's like losing James's following right now. So like I might have to switch gears to like a new one, but maybe Spider-Man, but I really don't have strong opinions on it. Superpower. I mean, this is probably not a real one, but like maybe just like tuning it all out when the chaos is around you with a 1 and a 4-year-old. Like that'd be a great superpower if they want to come up with that one.
It's a good one.
So yeah, focus.
Hulk. Thor.
Well, I mean, I like the idea of Superman because then you can just kind of take off. You don't need a vehicle. You don't need anything. You can just shoot up and take off. So that, and probably flying would be a nice superpower.
Superman.
So I'd go for Superman.
That's great. There's the Christopher Reeve specials on Prime. I haven't checked that out yet, but I'm going to. I grew up watching Superman with my uncle, so that one's a good one. Superman. So we hit the Friends. Favorite restaurant. Superheroes. Any questions for me? Anything that you think I've missed or that you want to share?
I don't think you missed anything. I think you did a great job. I think what you do is really, really interesting, and I love your website. I like the bottom, how the sticker moves. It's very cool.
See, Matt,
catches
you hear
my
that?
eyes. Can't stop looking at it. I was like playing with it. I was like, can I make it move? I can't.
I think you can. I think the mouse makes it move.
It did, but I couldn't like move it somewhere else. Like I was like literally like on there trying. So anyway, it's very cool. I really appreciate what you do. When I first moved here in 2020, again, kind of tasked with building this market from the ground up. Not having a board or relationships really prior, I looked to see what local nonprofits were around, and you and Johnny's Jog were the two that I was like, oh my gosh, they've got the market cornered in like the fundraising. I mean that with all the love, right? Like there's enough for everyone. Says your book too, right?
Yes, indeed.
But I definitely really looked up to you all and to Laura with Johnny's Dog to just see what you guys were doing. This community loves what you're doing.
Yeah.
So it's like an honor to meet you, honestly.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much. I really appreciate that. Yeah, Johnny Jog has been like our big brother, so our role model. They're wonderful. We were the Clover Club charity of choice, so honored for that donation and that sponsorship or that grant that they gave us. So yeah, great people, and we're just a third grade teacher from a divorced family. Knew how it was not to see my dad every once in a while. I had a student lose their dad. The family had twins. I had twins. I had to do something, and since then we've helped over 90 families and raised over $225,000.
So cool.
And we're continuing to grow. I got a wonderful board. That's Matt on the board of directors. He was instrumental on that website, so thank you.
Great
for
job.
He heard that compliment. That was
Great
awesome.
job.
We're going to have a press release on our website through weha.com, and the West Hartford Chamber of Commerce are going to do a press release. I did not know new websites were press release worthy, but Kate from the chamber said that's a wonderful idea, and it's really looks nice. So it's well done, and I'm very happy and excited to share it. So we're coming out with a press release. weha.com coming soon.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
That's great. So my question for you is, where do you see Friends of Feeney in 5-10 years from now?
Ooh, good question. I hear that a lot. Everyone's like, oh, when are you going to stop teaching and just do this full time? And I don't know. We'll know. My kids, again, are going to college. I love my job as I'm in my 21st year teaching. 9 years in Waterbury, Connecticut, where I went to school. Same school that I went to as a kid, I taught. And then I'm in my 12th year at Wolcott, where my daughters went. So both schools really meant a lot. I have my administration degree, so I could be a vice principal. Or do I go full time with the Friends of Feeney? So I have a lot of decisions to make. A wonderful question. I'm hearing it a lot. But in 5 years, I hope to help. What are we at now? We're at 90. So I hope to have helped maybe 250 families and raised over. It'd be great to be at $1 million in 5 years of help and donations and support to families in need. So that's our goal. $1 million distributed to families in 5 years, which is a lot of money. We're a quarter of the way there.
You can do it.
It's a mighty goal, but you never know until you got to set a goal to reach it, right?
Correct.
SMART goal? Is it like
Specific, measurable, attainable.
Exactly.
timely? Yeah, 5 years for a mill is pretty good. That's timely. Good question.
So do you find that there's a bigger need than you can fulfill, or are you finding that your fundraising, you're able to kind of keep up
We just
with
got
the
one today.
unfortunate-
He was like, "Hey, my brother lost everything in his house. You know, we heard from you from a friend. Someone had a house fire. They went to Human Resources in Terryville. Someone in the department referred them to Friends of
Wow.
Feeney. Anyone in school, if there's like a West Hartford family, like all the social workers know in the school system, they reach out to Friends of Feeney. So our name is getting out there. We're just continuing to help people. We really have never said no, but if it's out of our local area, like the California fires or the Florida hurricanes, like we would love to help, but we're trying to keep it Connecticut, you know, West Hartford to Waterbury to Hartford area. So please, yeah, we have a whole donation request form now where families can fill it out, put, you know, their name, email, how we can help, what donation would be suffice, or what is their circumstance. So we'll have that out there. Website is giving a lot more information, so go to friendsoffeeney.com. And while you're at it, like and share this podcast. We're at great people. Chelsea and Greg doing great things. Subscribe and like for our podcast too. We're trying to get our views up and our subscribers up. We're up to 350 now.
Fantastic.
So we were at 250 a year ago. Slow and steady. It's a grind.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So yeah, thank you for coming on. Any closing remarks or final things that you'd like to share?
Well, first, I just want to thank you for the invitation of being here and having the opportunity to share kind of what I'm up to with the Connecticut Beer Tour for a Cancer-Free Future. And hope that everybody listening or watching can take some time out of their busy schedule to come and raise a pint to make a difference in families dealing with blood cancer.
Anyway, our missions align because that is heartbreak and tragedy. So I would love to come to it. I'm going to try to make the West Hartford ones for sure, and then maybe try that JJ special at back east. That sounds exciting.
Very tasty.
No, I echo what he said. And thanks, Greg, too. Like, thank you so much for everything you've done for this organization. And thank you for giving us this platform. Because really, that's what it's about, is getting the word out.
Yeah.
And, you know, like you with having money to give to the community, we also have that here at LLS. So, you know, we should really talk offline and figure out how to refer better. And yeah,
Right, our
I think that'd be
missions
really
align as
cool.
well, too, so,
Absolutely.
yeah. Happy to partner. I find strength, power in numbers, and collaboration is very, very important. Partnerships are important. We team up with Johnny's Jog. We do their photo booth. We've teamed up with a couple other. We had a booth at the Pride event. We do a booth at the summer. What's that? Summer fair thing with the
I know
with
what
the
you're
carnival.
talking about. And for
West
some-
Hartford Days?
Thank you.
Yes, West Hartford. Taste of West Hartford or West Hartford something.
West Hartford Days, yeah.
Yes.
Good friend Linda Geisler runs that at West
Nice.
Hartford. Yeah.
Nice. So yeah, it was an honor to talk with you. Oh, I've seen this. I have to do it. This maybe fits in. So we're gonna play a quick game before we go.
Okay.
It's 6, 12, 18, 24. You got to do 6 of 1, 12 of 1, 18 of 1. So it's either eat donuts, take the paper cuts, run the miles, or drink the beers. 6, 12, 18, or 24.
What? I do not even understand.
So say you like eat
So
6 donuts. That means you got to take 12 paper cuts. And then are you going to drink 18 beers or are you going to run 18 miles?
Well, I would do 6 paper cuts.
Yes.
You know,
Okay.
Definitely. I can do 12 miles.
Okay.
Sure.
18 donuts would be a tall ask, but I could probably do it, especially if they're Krispy Kremes that, not overly filling.
So yummy.
Nice, nice.
And then 24 beers. You have to. Now, there's no time limit on that, right?
No.
Not 24 and 24 minutes, but
I think I deeply agree with your path on that, to be honest with you. Like, I mean, as long as there's no time limit. To be honest with you, I could even do like the longer run if it were like this really long journey. Like I could take breaks, like naps in between. I'll do 24. It'd be great for,
Just run between the
2025
breweries.
plan.
You can have a
Exactly. Yeah,
beer,
great
do a
plan.
little bit of running,
Ooh,
and then
you set up a beer and donut at each
Oh my
brewery.
gosh, I'm so in here for I will get to all of them.
We can do that.
That motive. But yeah, definitely with you on the paper cuts. Like hardcore, yes, 6.
Oh,
Why would you do
yeah.
that?
Ooh,
Ugh.
I saw this, so I was like, I gotta ask. I put it down.
Has anyone ever wanted
I-
more than 6 paper
No,
cuts?
this is the first time I've ever
Okay,
asked on a
all right.
podcast.
Okay.
I've seen it on another clip,
All right.
but the Bears thing, I was like, all right, it fits.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
Bears
it's
and
like-
Mouse paper cuts are definitely.
so
The
2
lower.
challenging ones and 2 kind of easier ones.
And then do you want to do beer and donuts on the same day? Because that's a lot.
No, but there are some good pastry stouts that kind of go well with donuts.
And there is something called a beer mile. You run a lap of a track. You have to chug a beer. It's a world record in the Guinness Book of World Records. You run,
nope.
chug. Also, there's a donut mile. Fleet Feet does something.
I feel like I could
Yes.
get on board with
As
that a
part of
little
their
bit
community
better.
runs on Wednesday nights,
Yes.
they do a donut run. You run 3 miles and eat a donut after every mile.
I
I
gotta
could
try
do
that.
I could do that.
And you don't feel guilty because you're running it off while you're
Absolutely.
running. And then you're training for Johnny's jog while you're getting ready for it.
Getting ready. Again, we're here with Greg Hammond and Chelsea Dropik. It was wonderful chatting with you. You're amazing people doing great things in the community. This was episode 125 of Feeney Talks with Friends. I cannot thank you enough. Keep up the great work, and we hope to see you on this beer tour. It kicks off February 1st at Rule of 3 Brewery in East Hampton. Then to back east on February 7th. Luppoleto Brewery in Windsor Locks on February 8th. Illicit, Monday, February 10th. Valentine's Day here at Weehaw Brewing and Roasting. The 21st of February is the New Cambridge Project in Bristol. There's 3 breweries in there. That's pretty cool. February 22nd is a Saturday, Problem Solved Brewery in East Windsor. The 27th is a Thursday, New Park Brewery over on New Park Avenue. And then Concentric. Oh, darn it. I teach reading. Concentric Brewery in Portland, TBD, Powder Hollow, TBD, and Coastline in the summer. For more information, go to ctbeartour.org. And Greg won the 2024 Visionary of the Year.
Correct.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Great job.
And wonderful meeting you, Chelsea.
Nice to
Thank
meet
you so
you.
much. I want to give you guys each a magnet and a sticker. Good friends rule. And be a good friend.
I feel like I've made it now. Thank
You're
you.
in. You're
Yes.
part of the team.
Awesome.
And on 3, we'll say be a good friend. 1, 2, 3.
Be a good friend.